Hello and welcome to Money Management. This week, debate continues over the ACCC's decision to block NAB's bid for AXA Asia Pacific. But first, here's your news roundup, brought to you by Securitor. The Rudd government has announced its reform package for the Australian financial advice industry, ruling out commission payments to advisors, volume rebates to licensees, and introducing a statutory fiduciary obligation to clients for both advisors and licensees. The government has also proposed a significant expansion of the existing intra-fund advice rules, among a raft of other changes. The Minister for Financial Services and Superannuation, Chris Bowen, said the changes would improve consumer confidence in the industry and ultimately lead to more consumers receiving advice. In the other big news of the week, the ACCC blocked NAB's bid for AXA Asia Pacific while giving the green light to AMP. ACCC Chairman Graham Samuel said at the heart of the decision were concerns about competition in the retail investment platform space. A disappointed NAB said it strongly disagrees with the reasons for the ACCC's decisions and is now considering its options. AMP Chief Executive Craig Dunn described the decision as a great outcome for Australian consumers, adding an AMP-AXA merger would create a fifth pillar in financial services. In the midst of the action, a number of AMP's senior executives and financial advisors were grounded in Europe as a result of the air travel havoc caused by the eruption of an Icelandic volcano. Listed financial services group Perpetual has been increasing its footprint in the high net worth advice space and signalled its plans to dominate that space with the appointment of Jeff Lloyd as Group Executive for Perpetual Private Wealth. Lloyd was most recently General Manager of Advice and Private Banking at BT Financial Group and replaces John Nesbitt, who left last year. Meanwhile, listed dealer group Plan B announced its Managing Director Dennis Pearce would step aside, with Plan B Chairman Brian Taylor assuming leadership responsibilities. The Chairman of the Government's Superannuation Review, Jeremy Cooper, released another preliminary report, this time outlining plans for the introduction of a low-cost, low-frills default super option called MySuper. MySuper would include a ban on trailing commissions and contribution fees while introducing a default post-retirement product. The National Rugby League was rocked by revelations two-time premiers Melbourne Storm had engaged in long-term breaches of salary caps. In response, industry super funds Host Plus and Members Equity promptly withdrew their high-profile sponsorships of the club. The fallout from embattled agribusiness company Forest Enterprises Australia's entry into administration continues, with discussions about potential legal claims against the parent company. FEA Chief Executive Andrew White and co-founder Tony Cannon both stepped down from their roles, while an additional 28 staff were retrenched. Accountants expressed their frustration over delays in the processing of tax returns as a result of the ATO's current administrative problems. The ATO switched to a new IT system earlier this year, and the resulting teething problems have left some Australian businesses and individuals in financial hardship as they wait for tax return payments. Assistant Treasurer Nick Sherry announced financial advisors would be given 1 year's reprieve from the new National Tax Agent Services regime. Meanwhile, accountants are likely to lose their exemption from the AFSL regime where SMSF advice is concerned. The changes form part of Chris Bowen's broader financial advice industry overhaul. Bowen also recently indicated the government would take a hardline approach to excessive executive remuneration. In this week's Money Management, dealer groups and banks take sides over FEA's demise. Benjamin Levy and Chris Kennedy find calls for a unified industry voice continue, despite the apparent stalling of FPA and AFA merger talks. And in our top story, Mike Taylor examines new research which suggests the ACCC may have misstepped in its ruling on NAB's bid for AXA Asia Pacific. Wealth Insights Managing Director Vanessa McMahon maps out the market dominance created by both a NAB and AMP acquisition of AXA. For all the details on those stories, see tomorrow's edition of Money Management. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you again next week.